For generations, the southern lower peninsula of Michigan has been called the promised land of whitetail hunting. More deer per square mile than most states dare to dream about. Rolling agricultural fields bleeding into hardwood timber, the perfect ambush country. And yet the hunters who knew this land best carried a secret burden, an invisible wall, not drawn by the terrain, not drawn by the deer. Drawn by law, 300 yards. Beyond that line, your straight-walled cartridges fell like stones, your slugs ran out of breath. And the deer learned it. They always do. They pushed out to the center of those open cornfields, 400 yards, 500 yards, completely untouchable. Then came May 15th, 2026. The Michigan Natural Resources Commission erased the Limited Firearms Zone entirely. Bottleneck rifle cartridges, legal. Statewide, the wall is gone. But here is what the legends never tell you at the campfire. A legal rifle does not make you a long-range shooter. The 300-yard barrier was never just a legal problem. It is a physics problem, a ballistics problem, a discipline problem. Today we solve it. 5 platforms, 1 cartridge, the 30-08 Winchester. This is not a buying guide, this is a field manual. Number 5. The Woodman Arms Patriot. There is a particular kind of hunter in Michigan who does not drive to his stand. He walks. Miles of pre-dawn darkness through wet timber and frozen marsh grass, carrying everything on his back. For that hunter, every single ounce of equipment is a negotiation, and most muzzleloader platforms lose that negotiation badly. The Patriot was engineered to win it. Woodman Arms built this platform from a philosophy most manufacturers ignore entirely. Instead of adapting an existing centerfire action and hoping it survives smokeless powder pressures, they designed the Patriot from a blank sheet of paper specifically to handle the brutal pressure curves of rifle-grade smokeless propellant. The receiver is aerospace-grade aluminum alloy. The critical stress components surrounding the breech are hardened steel. The result is a platform that is feather-light to carry but completely uncompromising when it matters. The breech plug system is where the Patriot separates itself from the competition in its price class. It is engineered for a complete gas seal at ignition, channeling 100% of propellant energy directly into the base of the projectile. No leakage, no inconsistent velocity spikes between shots. When you are calculating drop compensation at 350 yards, that consistency is not a luxury. It is the entire foundation of the shot. Load it with a size 30-08 projectile using a smooth sizing die, pair it with a large rifle Magnum primer ignition module, and this platform produces a trajectory that would embarrass rifles costing 3 times its price. The Woodman Arms Patriot carries a street price of approximately $800 to $900. Number 4. The CVA Scout and the hack that transforms it. In 1944, the United States Army issued a field manual with a philosophy that has never gone out of style. Use what you have, improve what you can, win with what others underestimate. That is the exact doctrine the most dangerous hunters in southern Michigan apply to the CVA Scout chambered in 30-08 Winchester. On the surface, the Scout looks like a budget break-action single shot with a modest manufacturer suggested retail price of $455, and it is. But buried inside that humble platform is a Bergara barrel. The same Bergara DNA that supplies match-grade steel to rifle manufacturers, charging 4 times the price. Button-rifled, stainless, obsessively consistent bore dimensions from breech to crown. The Scout does not advertise this loudly. The legends who hunt with it prefer that arrangement. Here is where the transformation happens. The factory ignition system on any break-action platform is its weakest link. Inconsistent primer ignition creates velocity spreads that make long-range drop calculation an exercise in fiction. The serious hunters send their Scout directly to specialists like Jeff Henkins. For approximately $325, the factory ignition is completely replaced. A large rifle Magnum primer module is fitted. A tungsten carbide breech insert is installed to eliminate erosion and seal the chamber with absolute authority. Total investment under $800, sub 1 minute of angle groups at distance, reliably. That is not a budget rifle anymore. That is a precision instrument wearing a disguise. The deal breaker. This is not a same-day solution. The conversion requires shipping your platform and waiting for skilled hands to do precise work. Patience is part of the price. Total system investment approximately $780. Number 3. The Thompson Center Encore, and the match-grade machine barrel that unlocks everything it was always capable of becoming. There is an old gunsmithing proverb that serious barrel makers repeat in their shops. The action is the foundation, but the barrel is the truth. The Thompson Center Encore Pro Hunter has been a fixture in Michigan deer camps for over 2 decades. Hunters know its break-action geometry instinctively. Compact overall length, fast target acquisition, effortless single-shot discipline. But the factory barrel has always represented a ceiling on what this platform could deliver at distance. Match-grade machine exists specifically to demolish that ceiling. The MGM team brings over 30 years of precision barrel manufacturing to every order. For the 30-08 Winchester configuration, they produce stainless steel blanks ranging from 26 to 28 inches. Cut with a fluted exterior profile, the fluting is not decorative. Those longitudinal channels increase surface area, accelerating heat dissipation across the barrel wall during strings of fire. They also increase structural rigidity, resisting the harmonic barrel whip that murders accuracy in heavy charge loads. The engineering refinements go deeper than the barrel itself. MGM redesigns the forend adapter completely, eliminating the mechanical friction points that disturb natural barrel harmonics. For smokeless muzzleloader configurations, a tungsten carbide breech plug is integrated directly into the assembly, creating a gas seal that withstands the pressure spikes of rifle-grade propellant without erosion or dimensional creep over thousands of rounds. The break-action geometry delivers one advantage that bolt-action hunters rarely discuss openly. The total package length of an Encore with a 28-inch MGM barrel is significantly shorter than a bolt-action rifle, carrying equivalent barrel length. Inside a tight elevated blind on a cold December morning in the lower peninsula, that difference in maneuverability is not trivial. It is the difference between a clean follow-through and a compromised shot. The deal breaker. The original Encore hinge mechanism was designed for factory ammunition pressure levels. Under sustained smokeless powder loads, the hinge pin and locking surfaces accumulate wear faster than a purpose-built bolt-action platform. Periodic inspection and fitting by a competent gunsmith is not optional. It is maintenance that comes with the territory. MGM custom barrel investment runs approximately $400 to $600, fitted to your existing Encore frame. Number 2. The Arrowhead Rifle's Obsidian. There is a category of weapon that military engineers call a force multiplier, not simply a tool that performs its function adequately, a system that fundamentally changes the arithmetic of the engagement. The Arrowhead Obsidian is that category of rifle applied to the deer fields of southern Michigan. Arrowhead built this platform at the intersection of two worlds that rarely meet: the precision demands of long-range competition shooting and the brutal practical requirements of a hunter who covers difficult terrain before legal shooting light every single morning. The foundation is the Kelbley Atlas muzzleloader action, a receiver built on the Remington 700 short-action footprint, blueprinted to absolute mechanical zero tolerance. Every mating surface trued, every dimension verified. This is not assembly line geometry. This is the kind of fitting that competition shooters pay premium gunsmiths to perform after the factory is finished. The trigger is a TriggerTech primary utilizing roller-bearing frictionless release technology. Pull weight adjustable from 1.5 pounds to 4 pounds. The break is not described as crisp. Crisp is inadequate. It is instantaneous. The firing pin falls before the conscious mind has finished processing the decision to shoot. At 350 yards into a crosswind, that distinction between a clean break and a rolling trigger is measured in inches of separation from the vital zone. The barrel is where the Obsidian makes its most dramatic statement, a 24-inch Brux blank, carbon fiber wrapped, cut with a 1 in 20 twist rate. The carbon fiber jacket serves a dual engineering purpose that neither material alone could achieve. It reduces total system weight dramatically, eliminating the shooter fatigue that collapses natural point of aim during extended glassing sessions. Simultaneously, it acts as a thermal management sleeve, absorbing and dispersing heat generated by large smokeless powder charges. The practical result is the complete elimination of heat mirage distortion through the optic after rapid follow-up shots. The Arrowhead Generation 2 breech plug running large rifle magnum primers delivers single-digit extreme spread velocity consistency across an entire hunting season. When you feed that consistency into a ballistic algorithm alongside an Arrowhead XLD projectile carrying a Doppler radar, verified ballistic coefficient of 0.400, the software returns drop and wind call numbers you can trust at 500 yards without flinching. The 4-port self-timing muzzle brake absorbs 60% of recoil impulse and redirects gas laterally. The shooter stays on the scope. The shooter watches the bullet trace. The shooter confirms the hit before the echo returns from the tree line. The deal breaker. The Obsidian Complete Package carries a starting price of $5,500. For hunters whose budget has a ceiling well below that number, this platform exists in a conversation that simply cannot be completed. Complete Obsidian system packages start at $5,500. Number 1. The Henkins Custom SPML and ABR system. There are craftsmen who build rifles, and then there is Jeff Henkins. The distinction is not a matter of degree, it is a matter of category. Every other platform on this list represents an excellent engineering solution to the problem of long-range deer hunting in the southern Michigan Peninsula. The Henkins system represents something fundamentally different. It represents the complete elimination of the problem itself. Henkins builds on a Remington 700 short-action foundation, but the word foundation is doing heavy lifting in that sentence. Every receiver that enters his shop is blueprinted from the ground up. The bolt face is true to absolute perpendicularity with the bore axis. The receiver threads are recut to eliminate any angular deviation between the action and the barrel shoulder. The lug abutments are lapped until contact is perfectly uniform across 100% of the bearing surface. Customers seeking the absolute ceiling of mechanical performance can specify upgraded actions from Defiance, Stiller, or Bat. These are not catalog upgrades. These are the same receivers that national-level precision rifle competitors trust with their careers. The barrel comes from Krieger or Brooks exclusively. Match-grade stainless steel, hand-lap bore. Cut rifling or button rifling executed at tolerances that production manufacturers do not attempt. Lengths reach 30 inches on the SPML configurations, extracting every last foot per second from each smokeless powder charge without compromise. The barrel is fully free-floated. The action is aluminum pillar bedded into a laminated stock with such geometric precision that the bedding itself becomes a structural element of the accuracy equation rather than merely a cosmetic finish. The ignition system is the Henkins Heights, his own design. Large rifle magnum primers seated in a brass module that interfaces directly with a tungsten carbide breech plug. No gas leakage. No pressure inconsistency. No tool required for field removal. Extreme spread velocity figures measured in single digits across a full box of hand-sized projectiles. At 500 yards, a single-digit extreme spread translates to a point of impact variation smaller than the vital zone of a white-tailed deer. The math works entirely in your favor. Projectile velocities on the SPML 45 configuration exceed 3,000 feet per second at the muzzle, generating more than 5,000 foot-pounds of energy before the bullet has traveled a single yard. Pair that with a properly sized 30-08 or equivalent high ballistic coefficient projectile and a Vortex PST Generation 2 optic already zeroed and mapped. And the Henkins system does not ask you to calculate the 300-yard shot. It asks you to confirm it. The accuracy guarantee is not a marketing phrase. It is a written contractual commitment. Sub-half minute of angle 3-shot groups at 100 yards for 30 caliber and smaller configurations. Sub 0.75 minute of angle for larger bore configurations. If the rifle does not perform to that standard on the bench, it does not leave the shop. That is not confidence. That is engineering certainty converted into legal language. This is the system that the most accomplished hunters in the Lower Peninsula do not photograph at the check station. They carry it back to the truck quietly. They clean it carefully, and they return next season with the same rifle and higher expectations than they had the year before. Because the Henkins teaches you something that no other platform on this list can fully deliver. It teaches you that at 500 yards, the limiting factor is no longer the equipment. The limiting factor is you. And that realization, uncomfortable as it is the beginning of becoming genuinely dangerous in open country. The Henkins ABR standard platform starts at $1,295 to $1,495. The Henkins Hunter Series begins at $2,650. The complete Ultimate Hunter SPML package, including the Vortex PST Generation 2 optic zeroed and mapped, custom ballistic data card, and pre-sized projectiles, is available at $5,825. Here is what this list actually represents. It is not 5 rifles. It is 5 answers to the same question that every serious hunter in the southern Lower Peninsula of Michigan has been asking for the better part of 3 decades. How do I reach out past 300 yards with enough precision and enough terminal energy to end the shot cleanly, ethically, and definitively? For a generation, the law said you cannot. The Limited Firearms Zone drew a line and the deer learned exactly where it was. They stood in the middle of those open fields at 400 yards, and they were correct to feel safe. The equipment available under the old rules could not touch them there. Not reliably, not ethically. 2026 changed the legal equation. But the law changing does not automatically change the outcome downrange. That is the part the internet does not tell you. A .30-08 Winchester fired from a precision single-shot platform with a match-grade barrel and a sealed large rifle Magnum primer ignition system is a fundamentally different ballistic instrument than anything the Limited Firearms Zone era produced. The numbers at 300 yards do not lie. 1,586 foot-pounds of retained energy, 2,183 feet per second of remaining velocity. The deer in that cornfield at 400 yards is no longer making a correct calculation about its safety margin, but the equipment is only the permission slip. The hunter who connects at 500 yards in a December crosswind across a Michigan agricultural field did not get there by purchasing the right platform. He got there by understanding ballistic coefficient, by running Strelok Pro until the drop tables were memorized, by ranging every landmark in his shooting lane before legal light, by reading wind indicators at the target, not at the muzzle, by dry firing more rounds than most hunters fire live ammunition in a decade. The Woodman Arms Patriot gives a disciplined hunter access to smokeless performance at a price that does not require a payment plan. The CVA Scout with a Henkins Ignition Conversion proves that precision is an engineering problem, not a budget problem. The MGM Barrel on a Thompson Center Encore frame turns a familiar platform into a surgical instrument. The Arrowhead Obsidian brings competition-grade components to the deer fields without apology. And the Henkins SPML sits at the top of this list for the same reason certain tools earn a permanent place on a craftsman's bench. Not because they are the most expensive, because they are correct. Michigan has always produced hunters who understand that this sport rewards preparation above everything else. The 300-yard wall is gone. The 500-yard wall was never made of law. It was always made of knowledge, discipline, and the willingness to earn the shot before you take it. If this video saved you one wasted trigger pull at distance, you already know what to do. Subscribe, because next time we go further.